Alright, what up, y'all? Thank y'all. Welcome back to Triple S Production. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me here. I really appreciate it again. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're sharing this with all your friends. They will love it. I know they will in my heart. It's been a great time making these videos, and I'm sure they will have a great time watching them. But enough of my begging and pleading. I'm gonna get straight into it here. We have another 48 hours of awesomeness to bring to you. That's right, we got another cool city that I hit, and this one was super fun. It's one I've been to multiple times, but I finally got to really fully experience it. This time I feel like I got to hit a lot of the heavy hitters, and that is Montreal. Montreal is such a fun city to spend some time, a perfect place to go for a 48 hours and knock out some of the heavy hitters there. But again, it's another city that you could spend days and days having just an absolute blast. There's just so much rich history, rich culture. You know, a lot of people say that it reminds them of Europe and that it's like almost like a Europe and Canada, and I can see where they're coming from, but to be honest, I think that does it a bit of a disservice to how unique and cool it is as its own place. It's its own thing. It's not like anywhere I've ever been before, and it really is just a cool, unique, eclectic place that is of its own, and I don't think it really has any other comparisons. So I'm gonna start off by saying, you touch down, what do you need to do? There's a couple of heavy hitters that Montreal is known for as far as its culinary scene, and first and foremost, smoked meats. That's right, you got to hit Schwartz's. I believe it is the best one in town. It is a deli. The Montreal smoked meat, it's a type of brisket. You know, it's sort of similar to a Jewish style pastrami. It's a cured and smoked brisket, but it's got its whole own flavor to it. So it's almost like, you know, their sandwiches are kind of like a Reuben, but they absolutely love to pile high the meats. And here's a little fun fact. You could go to Schwartz's and wait to actually sit down in the restaurant and eat, or right next door they have a takeout counter that you can go to, and it was much less empty. There wasn't as much of a line. So we ran in there, grabbed the sandwich real quick. It's the same store, same product, same everything. And man, can I tell you, this one's definitely for my carnivores, but it is a must-have. This is my first time having Montreal smoked meat, and I was absolutely floored. It was so good, and I would highly suggest it here. Alright, now after that, for the night, you know, maybe you got an Airbnb, you got your own kitchen, you want to save a little bit of money like we did, you can actually go and get some fresh, amazing produce and foods at one of the many markets around the city. We personally went to Marché Octoile. Major apologies to the French also. I'm terrible at speaking French. I know I'm gonna butcher some of these pronunciations. But this was an absolutely awesome market. Had a lot of great specialty products in it. Really good cheeses, a lot of really good meats, some good produce as well. Anything you can need or want to make a good homemade meal. So we grabbed some homemade fresh meatballs, we grabbed some homemade fresh ravioli, grabbed a bottle of wine, boom, we were back at our apartment, saved up a little money, chefed it up ourselves. You can see that right around here, and you know, bon appetit. Not every night has to be, you know, big and luxurious, and you can still have some delicious stuff made fresh and homemade from local Montrealers. Montrealians? Montrealers? Day 2, you wake up the next morning, you're still feeling like you want some more breakfast foods. You gotta hit up some brunch. They got some great brunches. I personally recommend La Avenue. It was another absolutely spectacular brunch place. I got the pistachio latte. That was absolutely unreal, so good. It had like a pistachio rim on it. I was floored. But when that came out, I was like, oh, we're in good. This is a good start to the day. I got the French toast, the pecan pie style. 2 slices of French toast filled with pecan pie filling, topped with caramel and served with homemade whipping cream. Now, I'm usually more of a classic breakfast kind of a guy. I don't always like sweet in the morning. I ate all my words here. This was an absolutely, like, something about the pecan pie filling with the French toast, all of that just goes absolutely picture perfect together. It was just absolutely delicious. All right, then boom, you know, you're walking around the city, you're having a good time, it's a beautiful place, you're seeing all the cool architecture, and you want to get something good, just for a quick little snack. I absolutely recommend St. Viator's Bagels. They've got some phenomenal Montreal style bagels. I don't know exactly how to explain it. They got the sesame seeds on the outside, so it's kind of got a crispier outside, but more of a fluffy inside. It's got its whole own taste. This is actually recommended by a good friend of ours. Their family owns the place. It's a huge chain, very well known there. We didn't get to go to the original. We went to one that was over by where we were staying, but it's absolutely, I highly recommend. You gotta try the bagels. They are just so phenomenal. They got a bunch of different flavors, bunch of different kinds, and it's a must-have. Alright, boom, so now it's heading into dinner. Now it's time, maybe, you know, maybe you just want to treat yourself to a nice dinner, or you're with somebody and you want to go and have kind of like a little date night, get some cocktails or something like that. Bar Henrietta, I would say, is absolutely the place to go. We went there and it was quite phenomenal. They have some absolutely fantastic cocktails. I got the Albert, my partner got the Sylvia. They were both just right on the mark, and you know, the food is a little bit more small plate, so it's not exactly the place I would say you would go and fill up, but it's a great place to go and share. We got the roasted oyster mush and Brussels sprouts. It came with a sunflower cream and dill ranch on top of it, and also the sweet and sour roasted octopus with potatoes, herbs, mayo, and slaw. I gotta say, it was delicious. Both of them were quite very good, but the standout for me was the octopus. I'm a huge octopus fan, and I think when it's cooked perfectly, it has that buttery, melt in your mouth taste. I can't get enough of it, and they knocked it out of the park with this one. So I highly recommend Bar Henrietta. Great vibes. Great dinner place, very fancy, nice, where you can sit down, you know, enjoy a few cocktails. But if you're like me, sometimes those small plates, you know, aren't always the most filling. Sometimes, you know, you've been chilling, you've had a few drinks, and you want to close out the night somewhere else. Maybe somewhere that's a little bit more decadent, a little bit more on the not so healthy side. You know, I'm no judgment, but I love a good place like that, a good late night thing. You know what a great late night food is? Another Montreal staple, poutine. Yes, it's absolutely the best. Montreal by far has the best poutine. I'll say that as a person who lives in Vancouver. The poutine here doesn't hold a candle to anything that they have in Montreal. I don't know about anywhere else in Canada, but I can say Montreal absolutely has the best poutine of anything I've ever tasted. And the best that I've had in the city is at La Banquise. We went there late night, exactly how you're supposed to. We went all out and got the craziest poutine that I've ever had. That's right, we got the Scooby, a absolutely piled high plate of fries with gravy and chopped steak, bacon, onions, fried pickles, and garlic Caesar sauce. It looks as ridiculous as it tasted. It was just absolutely pure, unadulterated late night snacky deliciousness. I can't even explain the flavor palette here. It just was everything that it needed to be. And it was absolutely the perfect way to cap off a 48 hours in Montreal, I would say. Alright, and that comes to the end of another highlight video for our 48 hours. And I am already missing Montreal just talking about it. I want to go back again. Comment some other places you want to see me talk about. Comment any other ideas for some stuff you want to do on the channel. We got a lot more series that I'm going to try out, a lot more things that I want to play around with. I've been having so much fun just like doing these videos again, and I'm really happy to be back. So I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Like, comment, subscribe, share with everybody that you know. Get this stuff out there. But I'm gonna be here otherwise, so peace out. See y'all next time.